Good evening. Time is upon us that we may begin our monthly meeting. At this time, we're going to ask Pastor Jackson, would he engage us in invocation? After that, we will do our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow our heads, please. Father God, in the precious name of Jesus, Lord, as once again we come before you to say thank you. Father, we thank you for allowing us to assemble together, Lord God, to make certain decisions what benefit the county. Father, I ask you to look down upon each and every one of us, strengthen us, bless us, and have your way in this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I will entertain a motion on approving our amended agenda. And for discussion purposes, we have our attorney to elaborate on why we need to amend our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There needs to be a request and amendment to the agenda to include 2 additional items in old business related to ordinance number 879. Both of these items in 6A and 6B were to be on the agenda originally, but were inadvertently left off the agenda that was posted originally. They were always planned to be on the agenda, and it was a inadvertent mistake that they did not get included. So we request that it get added to the agenda this time.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion on approving our amended agenda.
So move. Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Those who oppose? Motion is approved as stated on our amended agenda. Thank you. At this time, we will entertain a motion on approval of our minutes from our March 10th, 2026 meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second. It's been moved and properly second that we approve our amended motions for our meeting on March the 10th.
For the minutes.
For our minutes. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Those who oppose? Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Presentations, is any of our delegation members present? No delegation members present. Mr. Herbert Gould, or our interim.
I would like to introduce Northeastern Technical College. They do have a presentation they want to give to council. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here on behalf of Northeastern Technical College, and I want to introduce myself. I'm Erin Fan, and I'm currently serving as the interim president of Northeastern. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you all today. We have several members of our leadership team here with us, and wanted to just bring a few updates and let you know the great things that we have going on at the college and more importantly in Marlboro County. So Northeastern Technical College, as you know, plays a vital role in workforce development, training, and education, ultimately resulting in economic growth in this region. So every day, the college is committed to training the workforce for Chesterfield, Marlboro, and Dillon counties. We are preparing students for high-demand careers and creating opportunities for individuals and families in all of our communities. So just to share some numbers with you for we're in our spring semester. We are serving, of our 1,386 students, 572 of those reside in Marlboro County. So that represents around 41% of our total enrollment is coming from your county here. So of the 572, 199 of those are traditional students, and 373 are dual enrollment. So that's an important partnership that we are actively working on with the Marlboro County School District. So those 373 are students at Marlboro County High School and take the opportunity to get some college credit while they're in high school. So we have been working diligently with Dr. Thorsland and his team to evaluate what we're doing and then other future opportunities for dual enrollment pathways, including some career and technical opportunities. Mr. Gould and myself actually were at the Marlboro School District, Marlboro County Superintendent Finalist Search last night, so looking forward to that process. So while we are in this period of transition, we are also in a period of focused and intentional improvement. So we are working on strengthening our enrollment, aligning programs with our workforce and industry partners, and ensuring the long-term sustainability of the college. So we're making meaningful progress with that and trying to be as engaging and interacting with our community and partners in all three counties. As we look ahead, our partnership with you as Marlboro County Council is essential to that progress. So speaking of our partnership, I wanted to share an exciting update on construction of what you know formerly as the Winn-Dixie Building, and we are now proud that Phase 2 has just been completed of the campus there on the corner. And currently, we have invested over $7 million in that facility. And with the Phase 2, I anticipate we only will have about one more phase to have the complete building done. So I hope that you've had the opportunity to drive by that, and I would certainly welcome any of you to come. We can set up some tours of that because it's definitely a showpiece in the community. So we are focused now on equipping that facility with modern, high-quality instructional spaces and equipment. And we recently received $1.5 million from Senator Lindsey Graham's office that will allow for the upfitting of equipment, technology, and supplies specifically for that Marlboro campus. So the press release just went out. We did, interacted with Senator Graham's office on that. So very excited as we look forward to bringing that equipment, and we'll certainly keep you updated as we get that upfitted. We're also actively pursuing other funding opportunities through local, state, and federal sources. So one example, we submitted to Senator Fry's office a $600,000 appropriation request to support campus security enhancements for 2027. So this will allow us additional security cameras and access controls for the 4 campuses in our communities. So these efforts reflect our commitment as we try to leverage multiple sources while being responsible stewards of public funding. Looking ahead, we are planning to reopen the Marlboro campus back to the public this fall, as we also will continue our partnership with Marlboro County High School. So this will allow more opportunities and access for community members to engage in training and educational opportunities. And to that end, I wanted to mention we'll be hosting a Trailblazer Night on April 27th in that evening, and I'll put some flyers out here where we will have staff and support services on site, so encourage anybody to stop by the campus on that evening. So in conclusion, just wanted to let you know how much we value our partnership with the county and the shared commitment that we have to expand opportunities, support our industries, and strengthen the workforce pipeline. thank you again for this opportunity, and see that Mr. Gould is here, so wanted to, if you have any comments.
Good afternoon, how you doing? Good. Let me apologize for being a little late. We are in the process of doing the presidential search, and we have, the committee has narrowed it down from 30 applicants. We are interviewing the final 14, and that's taking place today and tomorrow. These candidates are coming from throughout the country in cooperation with the South Carolina Technical College system. We have some outstanding candidates. My philosophy and my belief is that education is the key. Education is the key. And whatever we can do in Marlboro County for good news, for the development of our population, of our students and our young adults and true adults, we need to do it. I've spent over 40-some years in education. I'm not here getting paid. I'm doing it as a service. I'm giving back to the community. There are a lot of things that we can do and you can do, and it just takes effort. We have talent in Marlboro County that's unbelievable, but we need to focus on our young people. We need to be aware of our young people, what they're doing. When they finish high school, there should be a pathway, a plan for them to be employed. And I'm not talking about minimum salary jobs. I'm talking about skills. You know, it's pitiful to think that sometimes you have to go out of the district, out of the county to get a plumber. This is us. We can train our people. Everybody is not going to a four-year institution. Everybody's not going to Clemson. Everybody's not going to the University of South Carolina. Northeast Technical College should be and is a golden opportunity and should be the priority number one. I use myself as an example. My granddaughter finished high school, went into a community college, Central Piedmont Community College in Charlotte, finished a two-year degree, went on, transferred to the University of North Carolina in Charlotte, and graduated with a bachelor's degree. Now working on a master's. There is a process. We must take advantage of it. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of hearing that Marlboro County, not in Marlboro County. Why not in Marlboro County? We can do it. We can do it. The staff at Northeast Tech, the Board of Trustees, the commissioners are working very hard. We're in this process now, and this is a time we can bring in the right president that will lead us and make things available to us. Now, the problem is this. We have these things, and you just heard about the grants and monies that's coming in from the federal, state, and local. If we do not get the people involved into this, if we do not mandate that our young people and those true adults take advantage of what's being offered. We can offer all the courses and all the training in the world, but now it's up to us to make sure that they're taking advantage of it. Again, everyone is not going to Clemson. Everyone is not going to South Carolina State. Everyone is not going to the University of South Carolina. What they need is to make sure that they have the skills and the opportunity right across the line. million Amazon. We're going to partnership with Richmond Community College to make sure that the training that's needed, that Northeast Technical College is on board with that. I just want to thank you for all you're doing. Education is the key. I don't care how old you are, don't stop learning. You got young people around your house sitting there on the computer all day playing games. Let's get a skill. Let's get a job skill. Let's be able to sell ourselves to industry and business. That's what it is. It's going to take us. Do I have any questions? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have questions, please. Mr. Gould, Ms. Spann, thank you so very much for coming to do the presentation with us this evening. I just want to I have some concerns, but I want to have clarification. Students who receive, I know that Marlboro County High is a part of the dual enrollment program. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the students who receive financial aid at Marlboro County High, they are potential college students, and they're using financial aid. For the students who use financial aid and do not pass those courses, can you give me the implication of what will happen to their financial aid and that student? Can someone tell me what's going on with that?
Yes, so dual enrollment currently, those students do not utilize Pell funds, so they do not fill out the FAFSA. So we're currently reviewing, typically it is outlined in the memorandum of agreement, the financial responsibility. In some cases, I know we've had some foundation support in Marlboro County that would pay for those students. And we do have some state scholarships, SC Wins and South Carolina Lottery, that dual enrollment can utilize. But to answer your question about if they aren't successful, there are implications for that, because at the end of the day, when you're a dual enrollment student, you're a college student. You're our student as well as Marlboro County High School or whatever high school they're attending. So there are implications to that, and one thing I think we hadn't done the best job of is explaining from day one, before the student even enters the classroom, that they understand that. So we're working hard right now. We've revised our dual enrollment application. Previously, it was about 4 to 5 pages of signatures and different things. We're getting that down to 1 application and planning to do educational opportunities and parent nights and those things that, yes, the high school student is a college student, but also they need to understand the commitment and even their family commitment of what they're signing up for. It takes time, a lot of effort, and that rigor that they're going to be exposed to as a college student. So those are a lot of things that we're working on, trying to clear that communication and transparency from day one of what you're signing up for.
Typically, students enroll in those programs in 9th grade, is that correct?
There are some pathways beginning in 9th. The traditional model is 11th and 12th, but if, back to that memorandum, if there are students that are deemed exceptional starting in 9th grade and going back to our partnership, that we rely on the high school to share those students with us they feel will be successful. There is an opportunity to start in 9th, but typically the most successful are those a little bit more, advanced upperclassmen in 11th and 12th.
Okay. And my final question to you, Mr. Gould, and both you, Ms. Spann. To your knowledge, Mr. Gould or Ms. Spann, does Northeastern Tech offer for contractors to gain a certification in solar panel installation?
We do not currently have that.
Okay.
But to Mr. Gould's point about the partnership with Richmond Community College, we are trying to actively engage, that's the example with the Amazon plant, but currently, we have not engaged with an industry right now for the solar panel. And typically, to start a new certificate or program, you know, we need to make sure we're gonna have students to enroll in that.
Right.
So we don't currently offer it, but definitely not saying it's nothing we would not take a look at.
So in other words, right now, we do not have a program to prepare the workforce here in Marlboro County for that. Is that right?
Not for solar farming, we do not.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Don Strickland, PDRTA.
Good evening, folks. Good evening. Mr. Chair, council, staff, citizens, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to come and give a transit update for PDRTA. A lot of good news to share, as usual. This past year, we've had 28% growth over last year. It's both good and bad, because as the need climbs, that tells us that people are more dependent on the services. We've done 2 surveys this year that last an entire week, and 78% of everybody that's using our services say they don't have access to a vehicle whatsoever. So no cars in their household, 78%. This year, we're on track to do 525,000 passenger trips. And you can imagine 78% of those say they have no vehicle in their household. There's quite a few that have one vehicle, but someone takes that vehicle to work in the morning or takes it to Northeastern Tech or somewhere else, leaving the rest of the family home without a vehicle. So number continues to climb. I know that's cost of ownership. Today it's fuel costs. I mean, you can see what it looks like out there. So, you know, the main thing I want to share is that just the growth itself, and it's not just Marlboro County, that's across our entire 6 counties that we cover at PDRTA. You know, with that, we're looking at roughly $1.1 million in investment in Marlboro County for 26-27. Unlike most RTAs, about 40 to 50% of their total funding is municipal. That's counties, that's cities, governmental options. For us, what we're trying to get out of Marlboro County this year, budget request is 10%. So basically, for every dollar we can get, we're investing 9 back into Marlboro County. We have 6 or 7 employees from Marlboro County right now that's working full-time, and that number is going to continue to grow. A few things I want to just touch on. Our demand response services in Marlboro County, this is the scheduled next day, pick them up from their homes, take them to appointments, dialysis, the cancer center, take them to the grocery store, take them to Carly C's, wherever they need to get to. We're at capacity. We can't, we talked about this last year, and I know that there was some growth there, but we're definitely at capacity. Right now, it's 2 to 3 weeks out. So if you call today for that demand response ride, let's say you're 80 years old and you don't have a vehicle and you don't have family here, it's 2 to 3 weeks out to get on that schedule. What I would like for us to see is to be able to add additional drivers and buses. We have the buses. The Love Foundation actually paid for the buses. There's no cost to have those assets. What we're struggling with is the local match in order to pay for the operator, the insurance, the fuel, and everything else associated with that. So that is kind of where we're at. So basically, we're requesting 10% to match roughly the $1.1 million that's being invested. If we can't get the increase, those funds will be spent, but they're going to another county that's going to come up with the local funding to be able to use those funds. And I'd rather that be spent here in Marlboro County because I know what the need is, because I hear the phone calls every day when I'm listening to our dispatch and I'm talking to our drivers. We're looking to work closer with economic development here in Marlboro County. I'm working pretty close with 5 of our 6 counties, working with industries. I have appointments going to, having lunch and learns at different industries. I want to do that in Marlboro County. If you call me, I'm the yes guy. I want to be able to do those things. So I look forward to being able to move the needle there, to get in with some of these industries. We're now working with Schaeffler on some different things over in Sherrall. We have a Marlboro County to Chesterfield County route. So that is workforce, folks going to work, bringing those resources back to Marlboro County. If we weren't to be able to get to where we need to be for the fiscal year of 26-27, just based on like what we're doing with the McCall, Cloud, Bennettsville route, the Bennettsville Express, all of our demand response services, I do feel like the one that would make the most sense and I hate to do it, but if we had to reduce services, it'd probably be that route to Sherrall, which means more access to jobs. And I say that because a lot of the folks that's using those services, that's really what it is, but the other ones are what we consider mission critical. That is your dialysis, your going to the hospitals and other places. So, I leave you with that. Just a lot of growth, a lot of great things happening. We want to be able to deploy the assets that have already been purchased from Marlboro County. So I hope that with your budget workshops, that's something you can consider, figuring out how we can get to that number. If you can't, if you tell me what I can lean on, where we can go, whether it's through economic development efforts, whatever that looks like, I'm willing to have those conversations to be able to make sure we can. And I don't want those federal dollars going somewhere else. And that's really the main things I wanted to share today. Just a tremendous amount of growth, folks using these services every day. We're at capacity on the demand response, but our Bennettsville Express bus, right now we're running a 22-passenger. There's certain hours there in a day where there's no seats because there's 25, 26 people standing, or 4 or 5 people standing and 22 sitting in the seats. Our ridership, we just did a complete transit study with a company called Kimley Horn, and our ridership in our rural communities is actually based per hour higher than places like Columbia and Myrtle Beach and Charleston. And again, it's good and bad. It's bad because people are truly dependent on it and they need it to be able to get the resources. I say it every year, but if they're boarding that bus, they're going to spend money or they're going to earn money. And that's the way it is. So when you think about economic impact, I want you to please consider PDRTA and the growth that we've had in recent years and what's possible as we move forward. Happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
Any questions?
I just want to ask Mr. Strickland, did you receive our nominee for board appointment?
Yes, ma'am, I sure did, and I do appreciate that. That will give us better representation from Marlboro County, considering the amount of services that we're providing now. And so it puts us in line with what we have in Dillon and Marion County and Chesterfield County, and Darlington County as well. So thank y'all for that. I do appreciate it. Look forward to working with our newest board member, my newest boss.
Your budget year is, like I was on
July, June, yes, sir.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Mr. Strickland.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Moving forward with our agenda, recognition of citizens, speak before council. First name, Jacqueline Adams.
I would like to say good evening to the Marlboro County Chairman, the County Council, and County Administrator. My name is Jacqueline Adams, and I serve as Secretary for the Friends of the Crooked Creek. And I would like to introduce the members of our board. Our chairman is Thomas Bennett, and our vice chairman is Edgar Covington, and our treasurer is Quentin Stubbs, and our chaplain is Reverend Jackie Pouncey. And our vision statement is Friends of Crooked Creek envision a safe, accessible, and enjoyable recreational destination that enhances the quality of life for our entire community. And our mission is to support and maintain substantiabilities and enhancement of Crooked Creek by promoting environmental stewardship, raising funds, and increasing the community awareness to preserve this valuable resources for all. As an update on our progress, we have approved our bylaws, secured a bank account, and we are currently working toward obtaining our 501c3 status. We thank the community for ongoing support in helping us reach our goal for Crooked Creek. Thank you, Jacqueline Adams, Secretary of the Friends of the Crooked Creek.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. Mr. Covington. Next, we have Ms. Antoinette Balfour.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I had a little concern about solar panels, so I looked up a little bit of stuff, and I just typed it up, and I'm gonna just read it quickly. Conversion, the solar panels is a hazard to the conversion of land and can disrupt natural processes. Clearing and grading during construction can cause soil erosion and increase sediment runoff into waterways. A growing concern is the management of solar panels at the end of their lifespan, typically around 30 years. Many panels contain toxic materials such as lead and cadmium, which can leach into soil and groundwater if disposed of improperly in landfills. Is there a guaranteed plan for removal if the farm is allowed? A Penn State Extension research found some solar panel farm neighbors raising livestock next to a proposed GSSD may express concerns about stray voltage. Some animals, especially cows and pigs, are sensitive to stray voltage. If they are subjected to continuous stray voltage, their eating and drinking behavior may be affected, thereby reducing production. Because GSS facilities are in essence power plants, the equipment in solar array is capable of producing deadly shock. And that's my discussion, and I just want to throw out something that you probably can't answer today, is how can citizens get copies of ordinances before they're voted on?
Thank you, Ms. Balfour. Ms. Brandy Howard.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am a writer of PDRTA. I did not know that they were coming. I spoke to David, I don't know David's last name, about 5 weeks ago, and it was too late for me to come to the last city council meeting. Concerning the Bennettsville-Shorrock route, as Mr. Strickland said, people need access to the hospital, doctor's appointments, NETC in Shorrock and Chesterfield for jobs and education, and just jobs within Shorrock. I ride the bus frequently. A lot of people get on at various times because they need transportation. And I think that we need to do something because we have limited things here in Marlboro County. Thank you. I just wanted that to be heard, and if anybody needs to reach me or talk to me about it, I will be around. Have a nice night.
Thank you, Ms. Howard. Shavette Hancock.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Tonight I'm coming to you pertaining to the fee of lieu of taxes agreement. This agreement directly affects our Marlboro County school system because it prevents them from receiving tax money for what can be 20 to 50 years on properties as the value of those properties increase. When this affects our school district and they aren't receiving those funds, it directly affects our children because when they receive less tax revenue, we don't get to hire as many teachers, which puts more children into each classroom, which gives each teacher even less time to spend with those children. I know that in order to obtain some industrial services in Marlboro County, we implement the fee in lieu of taxes. But we really need you all to reconsider these agreements moving forward and to possibly revisit some of the ones that are already in place because our school district needs those funds. Our children are hurting due to lack of funds, ultimately. And we are dependent on Marlboro County to assist us in getting our children where they need to be. We are lacking in several areas of study. ELA is one of the biggest ones. We need more reading coaches. We need more people who can be one-on-one with our children for certain periods of time while they are at school during the school day. We can't do that if the funds are not available to the school district to hire people to put in place. So even if Past agreements cannot be changed. We do ask you to consider our school district so that they can receive their normal tax revenue amounts before making these fee in lieu of taxes agreements with companies that are considering coming to Marlboro County. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hancock. At this time, we'll entertain a motion for executive session.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we adjourn for executive session. Any discussion?
What is for?
Discussion of contractual matters for the administrator in the administration office. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Unanimous. Must be nice.
Santa Claus came in?
Council is now out of executive session. I would entertain a motion for,
So move. Second.
it's been moved and properly second that we come out of executive session. No votes or no actions were taken. Any discussions? All prepared, let it be known by raising your right hand. Unanimous. We're now down to old business. I will entertain a motion on the old business after discussion.
Need to read it first?
Old business, motion to rescind the March 10th, 2026 motion to deny ordinance number 879, an ordinance authorizing pursuant to Title 12, Chapter 44 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina, 1976, as amended, the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and a company known to the county as Project Cranberry Cousins, as sponsors and one or more sponsors affiliates to provide for a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes, incentive, and certain special source revenue credits for the benefit of a project in the county and other matters related to.
Once again, I'll have our attorneys from Parker Poe to give a brief.
Yes, so this is a motion to rescind the decision to deny, the motion to deny a second reading on this ordinance. Pursuant to the model rules, the county council may make a determination that they wish to rescind that decision based on additional information that they've received. Happy to answer any questions if that be.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we, ordinance on number 879, that we rescind our motion. I move that we put the motion back into play. Ordinance number 879.
Second. It has been moved and properly second that we rescind the motion made on March 10th to deny ordinance 879. All prepared to vote. Any discussion?
Discussion. If that motion does not pass, what happens to that motion?
If that motion does not pass, then it would not go forward, and the decision that was made at the previous meeting would stand.
Further discussion?
Discussion point. Taxes, in lieu of taxes. And I thank God for the opportunity for this young lady to bring that out. Land that is in Marlboro County, that's farmland, and that, let's say a company, commercial company or business buy that land. Marlboro County ordinance, are you familiar with Marlboro County ordinance, sir? Are you familiar with
Which Marlboro County ordinance?
This Marlboro County ordinance concerning,
879, yes, ma'am.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So my question is, if a farmer, let's just say if a farmer or landowner sells that property to a business, to a commercial business, what happens to that, as far as assessment of that property? Does it remain farmland, or is it now as a commercial property?
Under your question, is it that the project has been established and is in operation?
Mm-hmm.
So long as the fee in lieu would be in place, it would be a commercial operation. It would not be farmland if it was, in fact, had a project on it.
As long as the...
If it has a project on it, then it would not be farmland, no ma'am.
Right. So if it's farmland and that particular seller sell it to a commercial business, when we do not have anything in place that turns that, or to assess that properly differently, we do not have anything in place for that.
So, I apologize, I don't understand that. I apologize.
I think what she would be asking is, if somebody had
just say 20 acres, and they divided it up.
Right.
As into just says gonna sell it off as lots. So then it becomes, the 10 acres or 20 acres returned to lots individually.
Sure.
And you assessed it a certain amount per lot.
Correct.
Instead of the full 10 acres or 20 acres of farmland. I think what she was asking, if I'm correct, is if that's deemed a commercial property at that time and nothing goes on it, what happens? Is that what you're asking?
Right.
Because like the land, if you lotted it up for a mobile home and still never sold it, you're still selling it, you're taxed to the lot per thing.
Right.
Does that make sense? It's not farmland then?
Right.
I guess for more
If it was rezoned commercial, then no, it would not be farmland.
But if it was zoned farmland, what does that, what happens to that? If it was zoned farmland in the beginning, and then the seller sells it to a commercial business?
So it wouldn't inherently change the use just by selling it to a third party. The change in use would occur when a project was placed on the property itself. So a mere transfer of the property would not change its use.
Me personally, I don't think as an individual, if I have land, I don't feel like the government, which we are, should come in and tell us what we're gonna do with our land. Now, if the land is not, if I'm selling my land for my own personal gain, if they want to do a pig farm on it, that's their job, 'cause I sold the land. You know, I don't think it's us, our situation to intervene if someone got their own individual land that they're gonna sell. Is they right to sell it, to rent it to farmland? Is their land? You know, so I don't understand how we as government can come in and dictate what John Blow gonna do with his land, whether it's trees on it or whatever the case may be. If it's his land and he wanna sell it to another organization, another entity, that's his right. That's how I look at things. If it's mine, it's mine. If I wanna sell it, I can sell it.
I think that the private owner has got to go by the regulations of the county, and all the setbacks have got to be in place, and they got to meet them. And if they meet all the requirements from whether it be DHEC, the county requirements, and it goes through that process, then I think the landowner has the right to do as he wishes with the land, as long as that is accomplished. Now, if the setback is not done, then no, do not do it. If anything, for any reason, then I say, no, I'm not for it, no, he's not getting it. But if they got the setbacks, or if they do even more, then I think that the owner should be allowed to do what he wants to at that point. But I do think that they got to go by the laws of DHEC, the county council, and I think that if for some reason, I mean, whatever we got on the books now, if the landowner and the company, they agree that there's no fallout there or anything, but they accomplish these things, then I think the landowner should be able to do what he wishes at that point. But I say that if Marlboro County doesn't want such things, then we need to make our stipulations tougher than what they are. I think we got to go by what we got, and if we follow the guidelines of what's there, then I don't think that we should stop the property owner. So, and that's the way I feel, because if I wanted to put, say, hog houses on my property right now, I couldn't do it. DHEC and different laws have changed, and even though I own the land and I you know, I got enough land to put it on, but they still wouldn't let me. So, in that case, then, you know, I can't do it. But, because I don't meet the criteria of the rules they come up with, because they are so tough, you can't do it. But if the landowner and the business are staying within the guidelines, then I'm not gonna be one to stop a personal landowner. Now, if it was the county that owned the land, I would not be for it at all, because I think we can do better things than a solar system, you know, for jobs and different stuff, because there's not gonna be jobs. It'll be revenue coming in for the county, which will help us from raising taxes and stuff. But, you know, and that's my say on it. I mean, you know, I don't like the solar panels. I don't like them. I mean, but if they follow the guidelines and everything, then I don't see where I should stop them. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I thought, Mr. Chairman, if I may, yeah, I mean, we're zoned, general zoning,
General development.
general, all the way across, so, yeah. I mean, we have some stiff solar panel, I know this is what this is about, solar panels, I mean, so we have some of the stiffest there is around, you know, and still, I mean, there's a philo in part of that, and so, it's just, if we agree with it, vote on it. If we don't agree with it, don't vote on it. I mean, that's kind of how I mean, it's nothing personal against anybody, you know, it's a fee in lieu of tax for a business to get started here, but you know, as Mr. Odom said, on one part, yeah, if it's your land, you should be able to do whatever you want. But then in one of my district, there was somebody that bought a piece of land that started processing chickens, and that wasn't what nobody wanted. So, I mean, it's just, it is general zoning. We need to look at our ordinances, look at our zoning, and we need to get it clarified, because these data centers, solar panels, all this stuff is what's going on. So we need to be doing that. But as Mr. Blackman said, if they fall within the guidelines, I mean, either I can vote for it or not vote for it. I mean, and that's, you know, that's where I stand. You know, I was telling a gentleman earlier, I used to be an advocate for solar panels. I mean, I had property looked at, but to me now, just from where I stand in my life, I'm not. So it's nothing against a solar panel or a solar panel company. It's just, that's where I'm at personally. And so, like I said, and you know, and some of the things, some of the places that it's going, it impacts people that vote in my area, the citizens in my area. So, you know, so I represent them, that's who voted me up there. I represent them and represent what's best for my district and the citizens of Marlboro County. So, you know, it's just the ordinance, I wanted to find out if you rescinded it and it didn't pass, what happened. That way, some clarification on that. That was the gist of my question.
Yes.
Just so it be noted.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I think a valid point of conversation would be, because it was brought up by Mr. Blackman, about what are you doing to stay within the Marlboro County solar ordinance? What is the company doing to go above and beyond the setbacks, to go above and beyond, you know, the different things, the decommissioning plan? We need to know from the company, if it's proper from the council, to just touch on some of those things, because if you're going to vote, you want to know, you want to be informed about that vote.
I think we also need to be cognizant of our zoning restrictions in the county. And, you know, out in the middle of the country, more than likely, people are going to build nice homes, $500,000 homes, $1 million homes, or whatever. And one of solar farm, I thought it was a great idea way back there a couple, 3 years ago. But now they seem to be a detriment on people's property, devaluing it. And we need to be very, very cognizant of people that live in the counties, particularly in the farmers. Most farmers build nice homes on their property. And but I think that last night, you know, I made a post on Facebook because there was so much interest on people wanting to know about it. And there was one lady that made a post very supportive of the solar panels and creates jobs, rolls your power bill back, rolls your rate back. None of that is true. It does not. I checked with Scotland County last night. They've been in this thing a lot longer than we have and stuff.
and they do not see any rollback. They do not even see any benefit from the power. It's moved somewhere else and stuff. But anyway, before we come in this meeting, the votes, whether you like it, comments, or people that shared it, it was 193 citizens in Marlboro County to 0. They were against them, you know. So we need to be cognizant of a percentage of the population, 100% are against them. And I think that I'm like Jason said, you know, if they comply with everything in this private property, there's not a lot we can do other than to make sure that the setbacks and everything is followed through. But I just tell you right now, there's a very, very negative image of solar farms in Marlboro County, and it's not Marlboro County. This is popping up all over the state, because I travel all over South Carolina, and the people are getting very negative now on solar farms, because there is a little bit of advantage of a little bit of money. But the county councilman from Scotland County last night said, yeah, Verb, we get some upfront money, but I don't know if it's worth it, and our county is saturated in Scotland County with solar farms. You know?
And that's a point, you know, Councilman Odom. Everybody is not for solar panels and solar farming, but we have to look at it objectively as well. The right location and the right project can work. You know, we don't want to be a county that's saturated with solar farms on every corner, you know, but I think the proposed project is in an area where it's not highly saturated with people. And the presentation that I've heard from the business developers, that they have some contingencies, you know, to address some of those concerns that, you know, we have. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of solar farm, but being objective and looking at what, you know, some of the information about the soil, you know, being, this is not farmland we're talking about. I don't think this project that they are proposing is farmland. So we have to make sure that we're not taking a wide view, take a shorter view and look at what this project, you know, can mean. It's not gonna be a whole lot of jobs. We've conceded that. But the revenue that we can get in a partnership that we can build, you know, with this particular company or any other company who's thinking about partnering with Marlboro County to do things. It's not just when you give you some upfront money, we never see you again. We're engaging these businesses, you know, how do we make sure that we take advantage of the opportunities to not just throw a solar farm in the ground and then just forget about it for 20 years and then have a decommission plan? How can we partner you with our school district, ensuring that, you know, those engineering or whatever the case may be, that our children get exposed to those type things? Those are the type things that we're looking at to engage these projects, not just throw some solar panels in the ground. There's been a lot of talk, and I've talked to a number of people who are not necessarily in favor of solar farms and solar panels for a number of different reasons. And I totally understand, I get it. But when we're looking at the project from an objective perspective, the location, you know, the land usage, all of those things are in play. I think this company has engaged the property owners. They've done their due diligence about, you know, what this type of project means. They've come up with contingency to address some of the concerns that we've had, you know, as councilmen, as far as the aesthetics. We don't want to look at our yard and see, you know, a bunch of solar panels. They have contingency for those particular things. Some of the other, you know, things that we have in place of engaging our county, you know, we've talked with those, you know, business, you know, developers about what that means for Marlboro County. So again, vote your conviction, but don't vote from a subjective view. Vote from an objective view, you know, about what this project can mean. The right project in the right location, you know, can mean, you know, some financial benefit for Marlboro County, but it can also mean that we begin to grow businesses in an underdeveloped part of the county, that we're upon another grid, you know, that can possibly usher in, you know, job growth and those different type things, you know, for the county. I'm for the project, you know, because of the wider view. You know, I'm not in favor of solar panels going up on every corner. But again, the right project in the right location, I think, can benefit our county without sacrificing our citizens and our constituents.
Mr. Chairman, I know everybody
said they 2 cents worth, and I think it was a valid point for everybody to make a good decision. But we got some people here right now that they can answer any questions, something that we might even have, or know the questions. You know, I think it'd be even appropriate to let them if they want to get up and say a few words, at the opportunity to say it, so we can be totally clear before we take any kind of vote. Instead of voting in the darkness.
Before we entertain that, any other council member have any discussions?
I have one more point to make, because I took the time to contact 12 counties and ask about their zoning ordinance. And out of that, 10 counties responded, even Scotland County. And one of the things, 2 of the counties, Sumter County and Scotland County, has a zoning ordinance on solar. I have it back there. I have about 15 copies, and you can have a copy. But one of the things that hurts Marlboro County, we have a lax zoning ordinance. And that anyone can put anything in this county, in anybody's neighborhood, and the part is, we cannot say a word because our zoning ordinance are not strict enough. And for that reason, I made contact further to someone from the Association of Counties and asked, how can we make sure that Marlboro County have stricter zoning laws? Not just for this project, but any project. And one of the things that suggested that Marlboro County look at putting a moratorium in place for any solar project or data centers to come here till we establish a more specific guidelines with our zoning board and the committee. I have no problem with businesses wanting to develop in Marlboro County. I do not. I don't like the myth that it brings 90 to 100 jobs when I know for a fact that we do not have the workforce. Marlboro County does not have the workforce for solar panel installations or installers. That was just proven there with Northeastern Tech. I know for a fact that Marlboro County does not have that kind of workforce. That means that you will be bringing in engineers from North Carolina, wherever. They'll be bringing those engineers in. When the project gets started, which is a seasonal job, 14 to 16 months, when the project gets started, grass cutting season will probably be the need for contractors here. I'm concerned about that. Marlboro County, yes, we know needs jobs, but I don't want to think that I'm voting for something for temporary jobs for Marlboro County. I have a very problem. I'm very upset about that. And when we're gonna get some tax fee in lieu, and Marlboro County gonna get this. We don't have a plan on how those funds are gonna be utilized. Nobody gave any specific on how we're gonna put those plans, whether it goes to the school system or whether for projects. For that reason, I have a concern, because in 2022, this council, except me and Mr. Lafayette, I had to fight in my community to have a solar panel put in my backyard. And our residents, 43 of us, we did not want that because Marlboro County still does not have a zoning law in place. And until we can get some kind of zoning ordinance in place with our zoning and planning board, have those boards meet, we be a committee, and get those guidelines in place, I have a problem with anything that's presented to me that does not have some specifics to help Marlboro County make sure that we are protected. Thank you for your time.
At this time, we have representative from Project Cranberry.
Good afternoon, County Council. I'm a representative of the company that's developing the project in the county. I'm here in the capacity to answer questions tonight. I know some of you have many questions, some of you have no questions, and I can take as long as we need to answer any questions that you have. Before I open to specific questions about the project, I think there is one that is pretty unanimous, and what is the company doing to ensure that we comply with the existing setbacks, screening, et cetera? So I can answer that very clearly. This project is in an area that only abuts 2 residential properties, which is fortunate. Against residential properties, residential dwellings, there will be a 400-foot setback as required by the Marlboro County ordinance as it stands today. Against any other property line, no matter what it's for, no matter what it's used for, it'll be a 100-foot setback, which is what the Marlboro County zoning ordinance requires. Against any church there will be a 200-foot setback, which is double what would be required by the Marlboro County ordinance. And on the only right-of-way, the only paved right-of-way that bisects the project, there will be full vegetative screening such that you cannot see the farm from the road. And that will be, in the technical side of that, it will be compliant with Marlboro County's zoning ordinance. They have technical specifications for how the vegetation is supposed to look, how it's supposed to be planted, how high it's supposed to get, and when. That will all be complied with. And I just would like to add one more thing on the technical side of all of this. We must still return to the county council to approve the design of the project. This fee in lieu comes before that process. We still have to go through the land use process with Marlboro County. You guys will all have a chance to look at the design, the actual setbacks, and the final picture that you will be able to hold the company accountable to when the project is built and operational. So with that being said, if anyone has any specific questions about the project, its implications, or anything like that, I'm happy to answer them.
I think I spoke with Mr. Carson before, and I give him my take on it, and so, like I said, I spoke with him before and just give him where my stance was on it, so I don't have any questions for him this time.
I want you to mention, do you have any comment about community engagement? You know, maybe helping with people who want to get trained for those type of jobs. I mean, you as a company coming here in Marlboro County, is there something that you have that you may have in place or plan to put in place to help our students be able to get some of those jobs? Because, you know, even if it's approved, it's a good little time period between any kind of construction.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, between that time period, what can you do working with Marlboro, with NETC? They were just here saying they don't have any kind of program like that. What could you do to help put something like that together for NETC?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Clyburn. I think there's a few elements to that question, and I just want to make sure I answer all of them. So if I don't, please let me know, and we'll continue. The first thing, with jobs in Marlboro County that we can facilitate, we will hold a job fair prior to construction of this facility in Marlboro County. Not everyone has to be a skilled engineer, a skilled electrician, a skilled civil engineer, any of that. Those people do exist on the project, but we also will need general laborers, and that can come from Marlboro County. We've actually stipulated it in the fee in lieu agreement that there will be a job fair held prior to construction. In the interim period, we do have a history of working with technical colleges. I'd have to go back and pull up specific details on that because I don't want to share anything inaccurate, but we can get that to you all. When Northeast Technical College was given their presentation, that was something that Michael and I were both, thinking about actively as they were speaking. This is something we can get involved in. We can sponsor classes. And again, I'd have to get to the specifics on that, but we have people that do this kind of work that help train, educational facilities in these areas. And so that's going to be a follow-up item for me because I know we can do it. How we do it, I want to be able to speak clearly and accurately on. So you'll hear back from me on that. One other little piece that is somewhat related to careers and jobs, but is not totally related, is we sponsor field trips for STEM labs, science, technology, engineering, and math labs, to come out to schools in the county and just teach them about science, technology, engineering, and math. It's not about solar. It's just about careers in those fields. It can be computer science, robotics, and all that comes with that. And that is underway in Marlboro County right now. They will be coming to the schools in the upcoming semester. And we also offer scholarships for students in the counties that we operate who are pursuing science, technology, engineering, and math graduate or collegiate level degrees, which includes people who have gone to community colleges like Northeastern Technical. So I know that was a lot of answers to your question, Mr. Clyburn, but.
Any further questions? I do agree with Councilwoman Lawson is we have to do a better job of ensuring that our ordinances and our information is up to date. Mm-hmm. And that's council's responsibility to ensure that. We have ordinances that haven't been updated in 30 years, and things have changed tremendously over the last 30 years, so we have to do our due diligence in some areas to ensure that Marlboro County is protected with the language and the information. With that being said, we do have a motion on the table. It has been properly second. We've had discussion. All prepared to vote? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by raising your right hand.
That is to rescind
To rescind.
ordinance 897.
Those who oppose, raise your right hand. Those who abstain?
I abstain, I wasn't here last month.
I didn't, Mr. Misley vote, I didn't see how you voted. How do you vote, Mr. Misley?
You got to vote, Mr. Misley.
Okay.
So the motion has,
4.
the motion has been approved. We have 4, 3
And 1.
One
nays
abstention.
and 1 abstention. So the motion has been approved. Ordinance 879, an ordinance authorizing pursuant to Title 12, Chapter 44 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina, 1976, as amended the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu ad valorem tax agreement by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and a company known to the county as Project Cranberry Cousins, sponsor and one or more sponsor affiliates to provide a fee in lieu and of ad valorem taxes, incentive, and certain special source revenue credits for the benefit of a project in the county and other matters related to. Second reading.
Mr. Chairman, this is about the same project. And this is basically after having been rescinded the last action, then this follows up to move forward with the second reading.
I'll
Mr.
entertain a
Chairman,
motion.
I make a motion, we'll set ordinance number 879 for the second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept ordinance 879. Any discussions? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. All opposed? Any abstain? Mr.
You voted for it.
Councilman Jackson, did you abstain or?
Yes, I wasn't here last month.
Okay.
I mean, last month.
Motion has been approved as a 4-3.
By Mr.
He voted for it.
Moving on to new business, Resolution 042602, a resolution designating the month of April as the South Carolina Fair Housing Month for 2026. Mrs. Carpenter.
It's just resolution, it's basically self-explanatory, just to designate the month of April. Fair Housing Month, you know, we do want to make sure that we acknowledge the need for fair housing in Marlboro County and everywhere else, so the recommendation is to accept this resolution.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept Resolution 042602. Any discussions? All prepared to vote, let it be known by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Unanimous. Ordinance number 881, an ordinance to adopt the annual budget and to make appropriation for Marlboro County for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2027. First reading, title only.
This is the first reading, title only. However, I do want to have Mr. West Park give a few remarks about the budget, where it's headed, and that kind of thing.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, you have before you Ordinance 881. This is, of course, a title only. We are in the process of updating our revenue projections for the current fiscal year, as well as the revenues for the upcoming 26-27 fiscal year. I think we've seen some positive issues. I'm going to talk a little bit about that when I give my financial report as well. We know that we're going to have some increase in cost as we look forward into 26, 27. There are some uncertainties in terms of some of our costs going forward. We are seeing some positive information on revenues as well, so that I think that will help to offset our costs going forward. I don't know if there's any particular questions as we go through this. I know that we'll be doing a budget workshop I believe we've tentatively planned a workshop the end of this month.
Now, we talking in the agenda meeting, we talked about possibly the 28th,
Yes.
but I guess you need to really hold council, but it'll be somewhere around the end of the month, 28th-ish, where we have the first one. Just depends on what council agrees to.
We'll communicate with council.
We'll be able to provide, details in terms of the revenues as well as the requests from the various departments.
Any discussion from council?
I have some.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Lawson.
Mr. Chair, I have a reservation about even accepting any portion of this ordinance to adopt this budget right at this point, because the fact is that we should have had some meaningful discussion before this became a, as they say, title on a reading. There has not been a public hearing yet on the solid waste from Waste Connection. There's not been a public hearing on that. There's an possible increase in fees on that. The public should have been made aware of that. No public meetings have been scheduled or said about that. There should be updates done about the fees in this rental facilities, and there's no actual budget in front of us. I know you say you're gonna give us something, no disrespect to you, but administrator, that is your job too, to be sure that we have a budget. I do not think that we should always have this cookie cutter process. That means that departments will be given a list to say, give me your wish list. Tell us what you want. I don't believe in that. I'm just frustrated on how this process goes. And then as a part of it, the public hearing that will be scheduled, if all goes well and as put in this package, the public hearing will be on May 12th. No public hasn't had any input on when they will see what's in this budget. And then a final reading is designated to be for June 9th, which is also election day. So for the process to be just already cookie cuttered out, I don't appreciate that. I still think we need to be more transparent on how we present a budget. No disrespect to you, sir. I want to say that to you and Mr. Administrator, but I don't like this process. Everything is going to be presented to us. Have a few questions about this item, but we do not do a deep enough dive for true transparency with this budget. And for the first reading, it automatically becomes a cookie cutter process. That's my take on that.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I've been on this council for over 20 years, along me, Mr. Blackman. Jason, I think you've been here for a long period of time also. And anytime we're doing this annual budget, it is a time restriction always. You know, we do Tyler only. It's just an opportunity for us to get the ball rolling. We're gonna have a second reading. We're gonna have a public hearing. Everything what Ms. Lawson already said is going to come. But we still got to get the ball on the court. If we put this back and public hearing based on the thing that Ms. Lawson would like to have in place, this might even take place to the 1st of May. And then next thing we know, we're behind the 8 ball. Our staff is already will be pushed. It will be pushed because we'll have budget. We have budget. Last year it went all down to the last hour before we approved the budget. This process here of Tyler only, I don't think it's one phase that we will get out the way and behind us before we start really get to the meat. This is an introduction of knowing what we're gonna have to do. And this, it's been going on I know since I've been on council for 20 years. Different administrators, different finance directors. Everyone who have came before these two gentlemen here have done this process. You know, it is not brand new. The Tyler only is not brand new. This is not the first time it ever happened. We've been doing this for a long period of time, and for the last 20 plus years, we always met the criteria, we always met the deadline. This is just the first phase of the budget process. You know, that's, you know, if we put this back, then come in the first of middle of June, we be scratching our head why we didn't do this in April.
Those sentiments are taken, but we went through the same process last year.
Correct.
And
year before last.
We had the same argument last year about this title only. Almost the same language. Just because we've been doing it for 20, 25, 30, 35 years, don't mean we have to continue to do it that way. You know, I've communicated that when I saw that title only, that it was going to be some healthy discussion about just having that budget as a title only without any tangible thing that we can see. We know you all work extremely hard. We're not dismissing that, but when we're talking about citizens' money, these are taxpayers' money. We want to make sure that we take every opportunity to look at, before we even say yes, a first reading. Once that first reading is gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
But we hadn't had anything to really look at. I appreciate, our last finance meeting. The projections are looking good for us.
Right.
The projections are looking real good, but every council member is not a part of that finance meeting.
Sure.
And so, it would have been good to have something tangible to look at. Just, again, we can't continue to operate like we did 30 years ago. That's been one of our most things. We continue to operate like it's 1994 and it's 2026. We have to update the way we're doing things, and a part of that could have been, we understand what the budget, process is, but we need something that we can go back to our constituents and say, yeah, I voted for the first reading. What'd you vote for? I don't know, I ain't really seen nothing yet, but we voted for it. We understand, it's customary to go through this process, but we can't fulfill our responsibilities if we just doing what's being customary for the last, year. So again, I appreciate the hard work you're doing. I know you're doing it.
Sure.
But as council, we do need, some more tangible things that we can, when we're making any decisions on the first reading of a budget, that means that we're ready for the budget. We're not ready. We're not ready because we haven't seen anything as of yet. The projections look good in and out this year. Those things look fairly favorable for us, but I do think, it would have been good to have something tangible to refer back to and looking at where budgets are department-wide at this stage right here, so we can determine, okay, well, if they're already $300,000, behind, we can look at what they're presenting to us this year, and we can take those things into account. But that's neither here nor there. We do have an ordinance, and I'm prepared to entertain a motion on the ordinance.
We
881.
approve ordinance 881, first reading title only, and hearing everybody's comments, but I say we move forward. I was a thorn in the side last year, I'll be a thorn in the side this year, but we'll get it started.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve ordinance 881. Any discussion further? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hands. Any opposed? Any abstains? One opposed.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
just to follow up, I agree with Anthony. We're doing a title only on the first reading, and we're in April. July 30th is gonna get here quick. It caught us last year. I think this is the right thing to do. There's no money approved or anything else. All we doing is what the law says. We have to have the 3 readings and the public hearing and stuff. And if we kick the can down the road, it's another month before we meet. And we'll be right back in between the 8 ball like we were last year. All this is title only. We start the process, and now we get down to the nuts and bolts, like Dr. Johnson said. We need to evaluate every single dime of the taxpayers' money in Marlboro County and how it's spent. And they elect us to do that, each one of us. But I do not see any harm in starting the process tonight so that we aren't behind an 8 ball where we're calling special meeting after special meeting over in May and June, trying to meet the state deadline that says we have to have a budget in place. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you, Councilman.
All due respect, so I want to make a comment too.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate each of you, but this process going forward, I hope that we will put something on the table for next year to move this process further by having workshops way before April. Most counties are already in their process. This has been a 30, 40-year process. I agree with what you're saying, but if we're gonna change this perception, we need to already be prepared for next year, to be prepared for our next budget workshop. When July 1st hit, we better be having some dates on the table in December about our budget workshop. There's never been any dates on the table. Those are the kind of things that upsets me. We do not go to a thorough budget. If we didn't have this high assessment last year, many of you would not even want to care about talking about the budget. But because we had so many things on the table last year, and this year could be the same thing, I just believe that we should be doing a deeper dive in the way that the budget is presented. That's all I'm saying. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance number 882, an ordinance to approve the capital improvement plan for Marlboro County for the period fiscal year 2026-2027. First reading, title only. I will entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve ordinance number 882. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, the projects sometimes we get for capital improvement are put on there, and we are putting those in place and not really knowing what are we going to be voting on. So for that reason, I cannot participate in this.
Any other discussion? I will entertain a motion.
Motion, yeah, and second.
Okay. All prepared to vote? Let it be known by raising your right hand. Any abstains? Any opposed? One opposed. Motion is approved. Moving on to sheriff request for funding to purchase vehicles.
I would like to call Sheriff McNeil to give a presentation concerning that request. Sheriff McNeil.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And thank you for this opportunity to, I want to thank the chair and council for allowing me this opportunity to speak on behalf of the sheriff's office, and ask that you consider the request for 3 vehicles during this process now. And I know we are about to go into budget season, but some things we can't wait to do. If we wait until budget in July, it puts us another 4 months really down the road. And we have some issues that we need to get resolved right now. One has to do with a shortage of vehicles. We right now have our budget for 36 officers. We have 34 cars. Out of those 34, 4 of them we aren't even being able to use. So now we're down to 30 vehicles. We are 3 people short. If we hired 3 more people right now, we wouldn't have vehicles to put them in. And that's a problem. I can't say what happened other than we have not, or we are not prepared for the situation that we're in. We would be in hopes of getting more cars. We have 13 marked cars. And to us, that's important. We have 16 people that's on the road on a day, hopefully 16 people on the road, but we only have 13 cars that's marked. We hear comments that, we don't see police cars. Well, they're out there, but they're unmarked because we don't have marked cars. We have 6 cars that we use that are unmarked, that should be marked, but we don't have them. Some of the vehicles we have now, we have 4 vehicles right now that's over 100 and something thousand miles. They're all old trucks that we inherited when we first started in 2018. We've not been able to replace those cars because the system that's in place right now with Enterprise, for whatever reason over the years, it's not worked the way it needs to. Every 3 years, we should be getting at least 3 to 4 new vehicles. Those cars should be turning over and we should be getting them replaced, and that hasn't happened. I think year before last, we did get, I wasn't here, but we did get 7 new vehicles, but we lost 9. You do the math, we lost 2 cars out the process in that process. Right now, we have 3 cars that's right at 30,000 miles or less, but they're 3 years old because they stay in the shop so much we can't use them. There is a problem with the cooling system that they keep running hot and nobody can seem to figure out what it is. Granted, they're new cars, they're 2023 cars, but we can't keep them on the road. So we have to do something. If we wait until budget time, if you approve new cars in July for us, it'll be November to December before we get them. So we're talking about from April to December, we're still having the same problems we're having with shortages of vehicles, and we're paying more money to the towing company to tow them to mechanics than we are paying for the vehicles. I mean, because if you check, we're having cars towed about every other day somewhere to get them worked on. So I'm asking that you consider the request to replace or to purchase 3 new vehicles.
Sheriff McNeil, could you share 2 things? Number one, could you share what happened, I think it was just maybe a month ago, about a vehicle that cost $8,000 to even fix? Now, and we can't fix that one, and another vehicle. And also share the price of the vehicles that you're talking about, some kind of indication
We
of
have
price.
2 vehicles right now that's been considered total. Deers. Couple were Deers that's been total, but 2 has to do with the engines running hot and they just can't fix it. And so they're gonna total them. The problem is we're still waiting on them to total, but when they total them, there's no guarantee that we're gonna get a new car because the money comes back to the county and it does not necessarily come back to us, so that car's not replaced either. So we keep losing vehicles. The cost of vehicles vary depending on what we're looking at. A Ram truck right now, and I'll be specific, is at $41,000 with a upfitting of about $13,000. That's $54,000 for that vehicle. SUVs that you normally see, Durangos and Fords are $45,000 with a $13,000 upfitting. It's $58,000, and Ford trucks and Chevy trucks are running around $49,000 with a $13,000 upfitting is at $62,000. So right now, the best option we have, and we've been talking with Chad, and I appreciate all that Chad has done in this process, along with Lieutenant Stubbs, to get these numbers for me. And I'll say this, and I probably shouldn't say it. Until we change this process we have with the company that we're working with and leasing cars, we're going to continue to have these kind of problems. And that's just the truth. Wes can agree with that. We need to change the system that we have. It does not work for this county.
Question. You got engines that running hot.
Yes, sir.
I do this every day. Why don't put another engine in? I mean, that's a no-brainer. You can buy an engine with 5-year warranty for $5,000.
If I can get the company to do that, but see.
Oh, you're talking about the lease vehicles?
Yeah, these leases, that's my problem. That's what I'm saying. We're dealing with a company that says we can't do it. I'm dealing with a company right now that tells me when I can change my tires. And I'm paying them to tell me that, and then I gotta pay somebody else to change my tires. This system does not work. It's costing us money.
This enterprise?
We're paying, yes, sir. It's costing us money.
You're proposing to buy outright as opposed to getting new lease vehicles.
If the county.
That's what you requesting now, to buy them outright, just
Yes,
for
sir.
the lease?
Now, I'm not looking for a lease. A lease
Okay.
is another headache.
I did, it wasn't clear. It wasn't
And I
clear.
believe if we went to, and this isn't the proper time to do this, it would be during budget time, but I think if we can eventually get out of this lease and go to a company that'll give us 3 years with lease, with the option to buy, it would be better. It really would be better and cheaper.
Have you looked into that?
Because we're paying right now for somebody to tell us how to do our maintenance. I don't need somebody to tell me when I need to change a tire. I don't need somebody to tell me where to go get the oil change when I can probably get it $20 less at another place, and they tell me I can't do that. I don't think anybody here wants somebody else to tell them how to spend their money. I just don't believe that, especially when it's not to my benefit.
How many cars are with, Sheriff, how many cars are with Enterprise or trucks you have with Enterprise? I mean, I can't recall.
So at this point, every vehicle that the sheriff's office owns is under Enterprise. As far as lease, I don't know right off the top of my head, but I would say it's at least 3/4. Every vehicle has been on Enterprise, but it may have
Rolled off.
lease maturity, which we continue to pay an administration fee on those vehicles even after lease maturity.
Yeah, we're paying about $219,000 a year for that service. A lot of money.
Does anybody run any numbers? I mean, if you bought them outright or got rid of them or what? I mean,
Well,
just,
if
I mean, I know you're asking for 4 cars, but I mean, what is,
The cost right now, if we bought 3 right now, if I use the lowest bid,
You
right?
said it was like 50-something thousand?
It would be 54,000, that comes to $162,000 for 3.
And that's from a local dealer, or that's from North Carolina?
That's gonna be in South Carolina.
Yeah,
That's
what,
about Marlboro County, I mean. is that
No,
Marlboro
not in
County?
Marlboro County. I'll be
Just
glad
on
to go
state
to Marlboro,
contract.
But
the state contract?
That is a state
Okay,
contract.
that's state contract.
Yeah, it's a state contract. Yeah, and we can do it at that prices, I think, I don't want to like call names, but it's low, it's a state contract.
Okay.
Sheriff McNeil, do you have you looked at your budget? Do you have enough funds in your budget? or
No,
you-
ma'am.
So what we're seeing now is will not take care of any portion of this?
It won't, and I can share with you why. In my O&M, where we paying for operations and the maintenance that we have on our vehicles now, I'm roughly $30,000-$40,000 over. In my overtime, about $30,000 or $40,000 over, because we've helped other parts of the county, and I'm over so much in my maintenance, because if we do some quick math, in 15 seconds, the average cost to change a set of tires on a car is $1,000. I got 34 cars. We're gonna have to change tires at least one time a year. That's $34,000. It has nothing to do with the maintenance that we have to pay for oil changes or anything else that comes along with that car. And in the process of doing our budget, we were under the impression that those kind of things would be paid by enterprise, and they're not. So when we did our budget under the assumption that enterprise would be responsible for those things, and they aren't. So we're over. We were over from July 1, I was $14,000 in the hole on July 1 when my budget started, from the very first day.
Sheriff Neal, Congressman Fry, I met with him last week, and he told me that he had approved an $830,000 grant to the
Yes,
Marlboro
sir.
County Sheriff's Department.
Yes, sir.
I mean, what's the time frame on that, or
We
could some
don't.
of that money be diverted into buying cars?
It will be, but we don't know when it's gonna start. I've had a conversation with him last night, and I'm waiting to find that out myself.
'Cause he told me it was for the purchase of equipment.
It's for technical equipment, and the reason that we're asking for that is our maintenance, our records management system is along with our JMS system. We're with the company now, along with 85% of the other state is with this one particular management system that is now, is about to go out of business in December. I don't see, the IT person is not here, but that company is about to go out of business. And if they go out of business, 85% of the people, 85% of law enforcement will be changing their records management system. To start that system is over $100,000, and it's going to be up from $5,700 a month that we pay now up to about, $5,700 a year to $55,000 a year if and when we have to change, and that's going to happen. So that $864,000 that you're speaking of, almost a third of that would be used to change over that records management system. And we've also agreed to help Clio and McCall because they're not going to be able to afford it either. So a meeting has been set up right now with EMS, 911, Clio, McCall, and Bennettsville to sit down and see if we can all come together as a county to see if we can come up with some type of funding to pay for this change. This change is going to hurt a lot of folk, and it has to be done because it's our records management system. And that hasn't even come up, but it is in my budget. It's something that everybody needs to hear because it's got to happen. It's not if or when. But to answer your question, that $864,000, a lot of that money will go toward that. We have applied for another $1.7 million in appropriations for state funding. And until they go through H2, which is 2 weeks away before the Senate and the House go into session with that, I don't know where that goes. Hopefully we'll get at least half of that. That money then can be put toward vehicles and other operational needs. So we're in the process of getting everything set up. It's just a matter of when. But if I wait until when and when don't happen, we'll be walking answering calls. That's just the truth. We'll either be walking or we won't be making them.
Mr. Sheriff McNeil, and to the administrator. This would require a budget amendment, would that be? Do we have the funds in our budget for this?
So where we are now, we are looking a little bit ahead, a good bit ahead of budget as far as being able to put money back into the fund balance, at least by a few $100,000. But it would require an amendment because we had to go through that process to amend that in order to add that to it. And that would take some time, but we need to do that, yes.
Are you having, go ahead, Ms. Farley. I didn't-
Do we have the funds for that, though?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Just whenever, I heard you in the very beginning say you were having trouble with enterprise across the board.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, and I think you said you started with 36 officers and 34 cars, or anyway, there was a lot of numbers going. I know you need sheriff's cars. I know you need patrol cars, and so, and I know you need them now. And so, I understand that, and so the question would be, would this get by? Or you have other trouble with other ones, or would it be worth taking a few days to find out what the buyout from Enterprise would be, so you're fully aware of what you need to do? I know we're here for 4 cars.
I can't answer that question. I don't know if Chad can answer that particular question, but what I can say is, no, it doesn't. Wouldn't be a Band-Aid fix. It would start the healing process by doing that. But as these cars roll off, I would suggest that we get out of that particular contract and go to a position where we can buy 2 lease within 3 years without the maintenance costs of them. If this appropriations go through, I will share that we've just finished another appropriation bill for 15 new vehicles. If that's approved, it'll be for 26, 27. That we're in the process of, we've already sent that paperwork in too. That's a third one. So we're doing all we can to make sure that we can find funding so it does not put the county in a strain. If we can come through with that, then it takes the burden off of the county. It gives the sheriff's office as well as other law enforcement agencies in the county funding that they'll need to help them as well.
Mr. Sheriff, if you would, regardless of what happens tonight on the vote, could you prepare something that would let us know, whether it's 2, 3 years or 4 year, 5 year, however many cars it needs to be a year to get us out of enterprise, and what that would mean in the short run and in the long run? If we can help kind of prepare those numbers, I think that'll give council a better way of looking at it.
I can have those numbers for you Tuesday.
Miss
Tuesday?
Sheriff, I guess a collaboration talk behind the mic. Yeah, I know we're gonna have a called meeting right shortly.
Yes,
And
sir.
So I won't say no, but if we could table it until I just get the information we have, I think we'll have a meeting in a couple weeks, and then we will have this on the agenda at that meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
and by then, I'll give you the numbers that you're asking for, and what we think would be the best solution.
Yeah, that's what, instead of I've been one last year when a budget came for, I said I didn't want to do any budget amendments throughout the year. That was my dying to ditch over last year. And, because we went up so much and everybody said we wouldn't. So I'm not gonna tell you no, but I say I would like to make a motion, we table it until our called meeting so we can get more information and you can present the other information we'd asked for.
All right, now, I need to know exactly what you're asking me for, other than what I've already given you.
Well, I know Mr. Woods has said that we could possibly get a new engine and some cars for XYZ number.
I don't
What would
know
it take to get out of the contract would be the big number. So we'll know if we got 10 cars or 4 cars that we could be dealing with and a total number to be able to moving forward. So that would be so that's what I'd ask. But my motion tonight would be to table until I get that information. I can get you all the information that we would need.
Okay, I can do that, but please keep an open mind, because I hate to think that 2 weeks from now, and you can say no. I have no recourse if you say no, but I also understand the position that we're in right now. I only ask because I need it, and I'm not trying to do anything, but if I hire 2 people, I'm having 2 people in 1 car. That doesn't help anybody or anything. That's a waste.
I will entertain a motion to postpone a vote on this.
You had a motion to
Did you
table.
motion?
Second. I had a motion to table until a call meeting.
It's been motioned to table and properly second. Any further discussion? And just let council know, we do have that, that contingency money that hasn't been explored. It would not require a budget amendment, but it would just require approval of council. So all prepared to vote, let it be known by raising your right hand to table. All opposed, right hand. Motion has been approved to table this issue. Do we have any appointments to boards and commissions?
There's not an appointment, but I do want to say something before I get into my administrator's report that I was going to say then, but it's been mentioned more than once. We have contacted the Planning and Zoning Board, and we've talked to them about the fact that we are going to be doing something with the ordinance, and that we did set a meeting for May the 7th, 2026, at 11 a.m., and that's public announcement. So we're doing it here, and the public has to be invited to that meeting. But we are going to have them meet, and on that, we're going to talk about new ordinance. We're going to talk about ordinance enforcement. We're going to talk about qualifications of the board members and training and different things that board members have to go through. So that's part of what we're going to do with the Planning and Zoning Board. I appreciate Mr. Chair's help put that together. But that's May 7th.
Mr. Clyburn, have we gotten any information back from the Waste Connections contract so our Public Safety Committee can meet and engage that contract so we can have those public meetings to inform our constituents about that proposed rate increase?
I don't have anything back from them yet. Do you have anything? We didn't get anything back from them yet, did we?
I mean, I tell you, we've met as a group, and we had to take what we were looking for and what the RFP was and combine that to have a contract.
Okay.
Because there were two separate things that didn't mirror each other, so it was tasked for staff to go back and mirror those two things together, then we can present something as a contract. As of my knowledge, I don't know if that's been done, but that was the task that was.
And we're still on time with the process. We're still on board with the
You're on
with the
time, but it's getting close to budget.
I know it is, but we have to.
Because public meetings need to be held,
Yes.
and that means in different locations of the county.
Yeah, we're aware of that. Yes.
Okay. All right, moving forward, acceptance of bids.
So lawn care bid is the first one.
Chair, Madam Vice Chair, members of the council. Attached, please find a bid sheet tabulation and other information for the county lawn care bid. The low bidder for the contract is David Industrial Services, LLC, 128 David Circle, Bennettsville, South Carolina, at a cost of $64,200. Also included is the sign-in sheet for the mandatory pre-bid meeting, which was held on 10 a.m. the 26th of March, 2026. As well as the request for bid was advertised on the 19th of March on the county website, the county Facebook page, and SCIBO, the state website, which is mandated that all contracts be put out on. And an addendum number 1 was issued after the pre-bid conference. As stipulated in the pre-bid, the mandatory pre-bid was held on 26 March at 10 a.m. Representatives from 18 firms attended, and out of those 18 firms, 6 of those firms submitted a timely and complete bid, which included the workman's comp insurance and the liability insurance. If they didn't have that at the time of the submission, they weren't considered. One firm was turned away because they arrived at county administration at 12:10 p.m., which was after the 12 noon deadline, and we couldn't accept that bid. Staff recommendation is to award the contract to David Industrial Services, 128 David Circle, Bennettsville, in the amount of $64,200. And if you have any questions on the attached documentation that was provided.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I see all the locations here, project locations,
Yes.
but I didn't see Smithfield Center and Wallace. Who takes care of that?
That was either Parks and Rec or DT or Ron.
And I didn't see Gene Wallace McLean Park on there.
Same thing.
Airport,
Same thing. The county is,
Blues Landing.
So with those two, the last two you named, that's what Ron Covington's team does that. They do the airport and they go to Blues Landing.
But as I see Bronxville Park and Lindsay Park as needed, what about during ball season? I mean, I think for me, we're trying to take some and still do some, I know Public Works I know they've been down people. I know they're trying to take care of the roads and they're trying to take care of grass. I mean, if something's not up, who do you know who to call? Is it Public Works? Is it this one? Is it that one? That's my concern.
So with any of the ball fields, we do call Parks and Recreation. With any of the parks, that's what we call Parks and Recreation. But with anything that's county property, we call Ron. And anything that's county grounds, as far as office space and that kind of stuff, we talk to DT and his staff.
That was my concern as far as what does as needed mean?
I can elaborate on that. When I sat down with Ron Covington, the Director of Public Works, Gerard, the Director of Recreation, DT, the Director of Building Maintenance, we all sat down and we said, if there were 2 parks and we had to pull somebody, say, from the rec department to help cut something else, and we just needed a cost on paper to say, hey, if this is an emergency cut, we can take these people to go cut this other project. And we just wanted those on there just to get a cost in case there was an emergency and we couldn't cut something. We had to look at where we could say, okay, this is a one-time cut only. We may not even need those to be cut. We just wanted to put something on paper, Wes, just to say, hey, if there was an emergency, here's where we could divert for this one cut, and then we could take Ron or DT or Gerard and send their people to cut something else. But that is not part of the regular schedule.
So the beginning process will, according to this, starts in May? The beginning process for the grass cutting, for this?
It starts on May 1st, ma'am.
May 1st, and it says it's gonna be about 10 cuts?
It will be 10 cuts, so it'll be twice a month.
And do you see that putting us like mid-September?
It'll go to the end of September. And then when I met with all 4 directors, they were confident in cutting back from last year, which was 20 cuts, back to 10 to lower the cost, and that they felt, all the directors felt that they could then help out and finish out the season in October if need be.
I just added up May 1st to 10 cuts. I get sometime September 11th, but you the expert on that. I'm just telling you what I see for that's what I see for 10 cuts.
After hearing the bid proposals, I will entertain a motion on accepting the bid that was proposed by our chief.
Mr. Chairman, my recommendation is accept Davis, the low bid with the contract for the lawn care.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept the lowest bid of David Industrial. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. All opposed? Any abstain? Motion has been approved.
I've included information on the opening bid tabulation sheet on the HVAC project at the EMS facility located at 1076 Marlboro Way, Bennettsville. Also included is a bid submission with the required insurance liability and workman's comp information, the request for bids, the attendance sheet, and the pre-bid conference and subsequent addendum to the RFP. Of course, this was advertised on the county's website as well as SCIBO. The lowest qualified bidder is Edwards Refrigeration at a cost of $30,850. The project will be paid from capital outlay funds budgeted in EMS. We do have $280,000 in that line item. Recommendation is to award contract with Edwards Refrigeration in the amount of $30,850 as attached.
Where will these be located? Is this the name of the building?
This is at the old the hospital, the doctor's office at the old hospital.
I just still,
where the-
I get back to, is, I've asked last year during the budget process, is to be, I have no idea what's going on as far as an upgrade or renovation. We've asked in the budget process to be, to come for us to present a plan. I know it's just been talked about, but I mean, as far as a council member, this is news to me. I've been quiet for a very long time. I mean, I've been very quiet for a long time. But this is news to me that this is what it is. I mean, we hadn't had any steps or anything, anybody, I'm not, well, maybe y'all talked about it at a meeting that I wasn't.
It was communicated that the EMS was going to relocate to that location. Now, were we informed on every step of the process and moving forward? May not have been, but it was communicated that, EMS was going to be moving to a new location, and the Council of Aging was eventually going to move into old EMS building for, a proper sewer. But again, information has been lost in translation. There are some things that, we have to improve on to ensure council members understand the step-by-step process, instead of, kind of almost finding out at the last minute. But again, it was communicated that EMS had the funds and the, everything to move. It wasn't going to be a cost to the county for them to move to that other building. That was communicated.
With the way things are going, I would like to see a plan of what's taking place from this day forward, with any progress moving forward, any renovations or whatever it is. I do not, we had discussed it whenever the buy of the hospital, but as far as that, I didn't know I know they had talked about it, but I hadn't heard anything else. So if it was discussed at a meeting that I wasn't here, I apologize, but I'm pretty abreast on a lot of things. And so, to be, once again, I'm for EMS, just as much as I'm for the sheriff's department, just as much as I'm for the fire department. Thankful for the award there. But, as far as coming in and not knowing anything about it, that's where I have the issue. And it's not just EMS. I mean, so no, don't take that personally. I mean, so it's not just that. It's a lot of things.
Any further discussion? I will entertain a motion on accepting the bid that was proposed by Mr. Parks of awarding Edward Refrigeration the HVAC project.
Mr. Chair, Edwards is a local business, and I make a motion that we accept the low bid.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept Edward Refrigeration bid of $30,950. Any further discussions? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Those who oppose, unanimous.
I didn't vote, I abstained.
Abstain. One abstains.
I would like to see a plan of what's going to take place at the EMS building, a full detailed plan of what's going forward, so whenever these things come forward, we can vote on them, and I'll feel confident voting on it.
Next item is information regarding cooperative purchasing networks available to government units in the U.S. The cooperative purchasing option allows cities and other counties to receive cooperative volume discounts from contracts that have been competitively awarded. The advantage of the cooperative contract for construction-related projects is a simplified process to develop, initiate, and complete the construction. The process as proposed requires only 80 days from time of award versus a traditional approach requiring 9 months to complete. Also attached is the work order document for the proposed playground project at Lindsay Park, address 122 Lindsay Park Road. As you recall, the council approved a $300,000 grant from the Community Development Block Grant CDBG, awarded at the December of 2025 meeting and accepted by County Council on January 13th of 2026. The remaining 30,000 is the required county match. The work order as prepared by Gordian includes playground equipment, wood fiber playground surface materials, vinyl coated fencing, and gate accesses. The project as outlined is anticipated to cost $328,878.10. I'm requesting approval of a work order as provided at a cost not to exceed $330,000. I don't know if you have any questions regarding the design or
Was there a
process.
design in here?
There is, and if
maybe
you
I'll-
go to page, let me have you go to, it's page,
Got 81. Got the 81.
Have a
Page
green sheet.
82.
yeah, it's
What's
the
that page?
last.
What
I
was
got
it?
82.
82.
82.
My
And you can
82
see,
My 82 is green, so I didn't, that's why I didn't
Yep.
see it.
well,
You see
it's
80,
right
you
before.
see 81?
Uh,
81 talks about,
81's blank, so that's,
okay.
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 I have a question then, when it comes to page 81, as far as the equipment itself. And this may be directed to you, Mr. Administrator. The new equipment that's going to be placed out there, is that, what type is that? Is it going to be for small children? What type? I mean,
So
tell me the age level for that.
So we're looking at generally small children. I mean, it's playground equipment. It's for
Okay.
playground age children.
And so, will there be any type of announcement to the public that we have expanded with, got this type stuff going on in Lindsay
Oh,
Park?
yeah, sure. I mean, when the project's finished, we'll have a ribbon cutting, that kind of thing.
Right, I just want to know what plans are in place for that, but the equipment will be for small age children
Yes.
and families.
Well, yeah,
5 to 8.
And the,
basically
whether it
5
be
to 8. You know,
5 to 8 years old, probably. So, and with that equipment, will everything used out there, just like the parks, will that be free for
Oh,
the
yes.
parents?
Yes.
No charge.
That'll be free for everyone.
Okay. Now, what about the upkeep on that?
Probably pretty limited upkeep, because you're gonna have, you know, of course, there's gonna be, you know, landscape cloth and, you know, wood fiber. There'll be a little bit of, annual addition of wood fiber, to, you know, but the maintenance should be very, very limited
It
on.
should be minimal on
Yeah.
most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to see something else going on there at Lindsay Park than you just out there playing ball.
I think it's
So
a
this will
great
be an
project.
opportunity for families to bring their children and be there. And so I see that as a plus, because for years, nothing else takes place there at Lindsay Park.
And I appreciate Regina Dupree's efforts to apply for the grant, and, you know, obviously, we're successfully awarded, so I think this is a really great thing for.
I just like to make a suggestion that to further utilize that park, because that's what we call sand area, dirt area. We would need to look at trying to put sand out there for maybe volleyball courts or something like that. That would be another plus, but just as a,
I think we're gonna
Suggestion.
see that,
need to come. Okay,
Well-
thank you.
yeah.
Hearing the Cooperative Purchasing Network, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion approved unanimous. Pickleball. Pickleball courts.
Okay, attached, you'll find the bid tabulation sheet and other information for the resurfacing and the conversion of the tennis courts to pickleball courts. The low bidder on the contract is Sterling McDermott Paving, 4531 Step Road, Wallace, South Carolina, at the cost of $121,000. Also included is the sign-in sheet for the mandatory pre-bid meeting held at 10 a.m. on 25 March 2026, as well as the request for proposal that was advertised on the 13th of March 2026 on the county website, county Facebook page, and Skibo. As stipulated in the request for proposal, a mandatory pre-bid conference was held on 25 March at 10 a.m. Representatives from 4 firms attended, with one of the 4 firms submitting a timely and complete bid. Staff recommendation is to award the contract to Sterling McDermott Paving Incorporated, 4531 Step Road, Wallace, South Carolina, in the amount of $121,000. In consultation with the Finance Department, the recommendation is to pay $94,000 out of the PARD funds, which was approved by the County Council and the delegation. The remaining $27,000 to cover this could be paid from the Capital Outlay Fund, number 75. Subject to your questions.
Just a question, the 94,000 PARD funds, was that specific for anything, or did we look at any other parks?
It was specific for that area.
Specifically for pickleball?
I will entertain a motion on the.
Chief,
Yes,
was that the $94,000 PARD grant, was that the grant that Senator Malloy awarded us before last June?
I believe it was, sir.
That was, same one.
Mr. Administrator, do you have any plans on how the public is gonna be utilizing the pickleball courts once it's done?
It'll be open to the public. It'll just be open to the public to play pickleball.
Right, but I guess I'm asking because just to say we got a court out there, well, maybe that's not your responsibility, but it would be good that we can encourage the public to utilize it, have it advertised, have teams, just like as important as it is to say people can play golf. I just say if that's gonna be another avenue for people to have recreation, some type incentive to encourage the people that pickleball is here. In that shop out there, there should be pickleball equipment sold. Even for incentives, have a big plan where you have a few of them given, a few pickleball sets given away. Will this court come with net, or will we be providing the nets?
We'll be providing everything for the pickleball court, but it will be a part of the golf complex.
Right.
It'll be a part of that complex, and yes, we'll be getting with the supervisor down there, the director down there, to make sure that there are programs for that, just like there are for golf. And so that's a good question. We will have things for, and one thing about pickleball, people of all ages play pickleball, from young kids to some of the elderly as well. And so we're going to have some incentives out there for them to make sure that everyone's using that. I mean, it's a wonderful space. It just needs to be upgraded, and it looks bad right now as the old, dilapidated tennis court. And just for the sake of it looking a lot better for the golf course, having that is just going to be a major plus for us.
About a year or so, maybe 2 years ago, pickleball was the hottest thing out there. And we got some local people, I know Mr. Hampton Hubbard, him and his wife is a big pickleball players, and they was a little bit more than happy to have classes and so forth. So once we get closer and closer, we definitely bring them into the fold.
Mr. Chairman, with that, I'd like to make a motion to accept staff recommendation for the 94 out of PARD and 27 out of capital outlay.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and properly second. Any further discussions? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion approved, unanimous.
Mr. Chair, just to reiterate, that's going to also give 4 pickleball courts with that RFP. It's going to take 2 tennis courts and convert them to 4 separate pickleball courts. So you'll be able to have 4 separate teams at the same time playing.
Thank you. Mr. Parks.
You have the financial report, and this is as of March 31 of 2026. Revenues totaled $12,422,593 in comparison to $10,600,926 for the 9 months ending March 31 of 2025. A few things of interest include fee in lieu income collected exceeded budget projections by over $106,000. Other state shared revenues such as local option sales tax, local government funds, and accommodations taxes are anticipated to exceed initial budget estimate for the year as well. General fund expenditures through March 31 of '26 totaled $12,039,090 of a $16,422,884 budget, or 73.31% of budget year to date. General fund expenditures totaled $11,858,478 of a $14,748,543 budget, or 80.41% for the same 9-month period ending March 31 of 2025. We're in a lot better position this year than we were last. Expenditures for current year are within budget estimates. In conclusion, expectations are that the actual revenues will exceed budget estimate and expenditures will be within budget, allowing county to recover some fund balance for the year ending June 30th of '26. I don't know if you got any specific questions.
I have a
You want me to
specific
ask?
question.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go on, sir.
No, I was just looking at the 12,442 comparison to 10,600.
Yeah.
That was an increase of a FILO from last year, I mean, and additional revenue.
Combination of the FILO as well as obviously reassessment.
Yeah.
Mr. Park, I'm concerned with the expenditure report. I don't understand why our county budget has that high figure there, $41,000. What is that coming from our account, please? And I asked January, and that we knew that the audit report was like $25,000 taken.
Well, when
So
I
tell me,
looked at that,
please.
actually, 25,000 of the audit report was paid prior, and I didn't realize there was still $25,000 outstanding for the audit report that was paid in March.
So January, we paid $25,000,
Right.
and then it was stayed normal at February, and then we come with March, and now you're telling me.
The other 25,000.
So the average on that account should be 11,000. Tell me where the other, what's happening with the $10,000 there? That's $41,000 from our account.
41,000 in the budget is like 293,000, so roughly 25,000 a month. And so, you know, 25,000 of that 41 was the audit report. So you know, $16,000.
Mr. Park, I say that, Mr. Administrator, too. We have no idea what's in our budget as far as what's coming out, because when we have our council, our finance meeting, we do not see any POs or anything. I'm just making that observation, sir. I thank you for that, and I'm not gonna not let you answer, but I needed to make that clear. And I'm gonna move to something else from expenditures for the sake of time. The other thing I'm concerned about is the fact that FEMA, what are we doing to have a deficit with FEMA? What's going on with that? Why would we have a deficit with that?
I'm guessing we've got some amounts that have been charged to that account, and it was, I'm not certain exactly what those expenditures were, but I mean, we could get some detail on those.
Please do. And information technology, it looks like there's gonna be a deficit with that budget. What's going on with that?
Well, probably the biggest item there is the software that's used for, I think the firm is CrowdStrike, that we had a pretty significant, it's a, malware and antivirus that we paid out of that fund, and I think it ended up covering 3 years rather than an annual. It was a lot cheaper to go ahead and pay for a 3-year service rather than paying annual service each year. So we did obviously go over in that area. The other challenge at times, too, is that there are departments that'll make requests for equipment, and then that equipment might not get charged back to the department. So there are times when IT ends up, being burdened with that expense.
Maybe when we'll talk about that in our budget workshop about that. But the other one, or two other questions and I'll be finished.
Okay?
What about with the animal shelter? The fee there is for the current expenditure also matches close to what's in that balance now. And we still have 3 more months of budget.
I don't know whether it's a result of services that are being received, whether it's, I don't know. What's your thought?
About the animal shelter.
Animal shelter?
So,
The costs associated with the animal shelter were, I think, about 86% raised.
And what was the question?
The question is that it looks like this budget, that particular line item will incur a deficit. If it's the same figure that's coming out now and it's a monthly cost, it's gonna be a deficit next month.
One thing that can happen too is if we get a bill, like for example, we pay things quarterly with certain vendors, and if we end up getting a bill that is dated due April 1, well, chances are we're gonna pay it before the end of that quarter. So we may have a full year's worth of service paid to a particular vendor. That very possibly is what's going on there. But we can pull some details on that.
We had some unforeseen things like certain bite cases. It's mandated by DHIC that we take the dog to the vet, the dog has to be euthanized, the dog has to be beheaded. They have to then transport the head down to Columbia for testing of the brain stem and the brain. And that is unfortunately, I hate to be that descriptive, but that is a huge cost that we don't, we can't really forecast that, hey, little Sally was bit by this dog and we have to now put it down, and then we have this bill that we have to cover, and that unfortunately comes out of the animal control budget, ma'am.
Right, I can understand that.
And then we had the animal control truck, which is over budget. The transmission let go, that was about $6,000 we had to put in, because you can't go without animal control, and we didn't have a spare vehicle. So there are some overages under the animal shelter, and that may be some answers to some of those questions.
And again, one more question and I know you hadn't gotten to that, but on page 106,
Okay.
that solid waste account there on the proprietary funds,
Okay, right.
is that the correct amount, or is a large amount has been put in
No,
there or taken out?
That is the correct amount. Typically what happens with solid waste, of course, the collection for the fees take place when people pay their taxes. So we end up reimbursing general fund in February and March. And so that's obviously drawn that balance.
Looking from what we see now, I see that we are about 1.2 mil every month for our expenditures. The budget says that we're at 4.4, correct?
Okay, 1.2, and we've got 4.4 remaining. Yeah.
So that means
3
that
months.
3 months, we'll be at 3.6 if nothing else goes wrong. That means it looks like we'll be at a surplus for a change
Yeah,
of
looks
$800,000.
Looks like our expenditures are gonna stay within budget.
Okay.
That's $1,250,000, so you might as well say $3,750,000, and
Right.
That would be about it's about a $700,000 difference. I hope that we're able to maintain that through the end of the year.
Me too.
We should.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for allowing me to ask those questions.
certainly. You do have other reports regarding cash balances, and then of course project reports. We've had very little activity in our projects. I think we've only had about $1,000 in the capital outlay in Fund 75, and that's the only activity within our capital funds for the month of March.
Thank you, Mr. Park.
Thank you.
Mr. Clyburn.
Good evening, council. He's gonna come up and introduce himself.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. I go by Mike Goff, born and raised in McCall. I live in McLeod now, married to my wife Danny, got a little son, Levi. Really honored to serve the community. Hopefully work with everyone here and the other fellow magistrates and serve the county and community, fairness, and bring justice for all. Thank you.
Just want to, on behalf of the county, we are here to support you, and just let us know if you need anything. Next, I do want to allow Ms. Sumter, Doris Sumter, to give a presentation.
Good evening. National County Government Month is this month, April. It's a celebration of county government. So therefore, during this month, counties are encouraged to actively promote their roles and responsibilities in serving residents. In Marlboro County, we applaud the county council members for raising awareness of local programs and services, strengthening connections between government and residents, and supporting the county staff and other elected officials. We recognize the county council members' years of service given to the citizens of Marlboro County. Councilman Steve Blackman and Anthony Woods, 19+ years. Councilman Jason Steen, 15+ years. Councilman Byrd Odom and Charles Midgley, 9+ years. Councilman Damian Johnson, 5+ years. Councilwoman Pearlie Lawson, 3+ years. Councilman Lafayette Jackson, 1+ years. Please enjoy the sweet token at your sitting space. Again, thank you for your service to the citizens of Marlboro County.
Thank you.
Next, I want to call Mr. Chad Charis to do his report on Marlboro County South Carolina Sweep from March 21st to 29th. He has the presentation up here. Been looking forward to present to you.
I know you're all probably sick of me tonight, but thank you for this evening. And these are some rough numbers from our campaign that we had for the statewide litter cleanup. Used to be called Clean Green, and every governor has a different name for it. This year is South Carolina Sweep. And for our county, we did it from March 21st through the 29th. And also after the 29th, because of scheduling, Clio did theirs after that date. So I didn't get any photos from Clio, but most of my presentation are just pictures and just one quick slide to read to you. Marlboro County, South Carolina Clean Sweep Activity Reporting, March 2026. Marlboro County government officials, Chairman Dr. Damian Johnson, Vice Chairwoman Pearlie Lawson, Sheriff Larry McNeil, the City of Bennettsville Mayor Tyrone Abraham, and other city elected officials and employees. The County Litter Control Officer, Dougie Henson. Dougie, if you're still out there, come in here and show your face. He worked tirelessly for about 10 days without a day off. Most of that time he donated, did not get paid overtime, and I just want to thank Dougie for all his hard work. He did a lot of cleanup, and you'll see in some of these photos here shortly. Thanks, Dougie. And so we had some community organizations, churches, school groups to participate in the South Carolina Clean Sweep and make Marlboro County clean and green during March. We'll just say March. More than, and I think it's closer now when we tallied up, I would say it's closer to 400 bags of trash, over 60 car tires, multiple bed mattresses, shopping carts, rolls of used carpet, household furniture, couches, chairs, you name it. A variety of other items were collected and disposed of. Over 4 tons of trash were cleaned up. This initiative paved the way to install deer cameras on various littering and dumping sites within the city and the county. As part of an ongoing strategic goal, more cleanup events will take place in the towns and the county throughout the year. I would like to publicly say that without Vice Chair, Madam Lawson, you worked tirelessly throughout this, and I saw you almost on a daily basis and provided many, many items. We got a lot of free stuff from Columbia to help with this, so I'd like to thank Palmetto Pride for also supporting our county. The rest of it, it's just going to be pictures. This is just a sample of what we cleaned up. Just buried tires, years and this particular, Dougie worked this, it was like 6 mattresses in Asbury Road down in Clio area and we're working a case right now. The sheriff is helping us with that. And I want to thank the sheriff's office. They did a tremendous job on their own doing multiple sites.
They did.
But this was a big one, and like I said, I don't want to get into too many particulars, but this is an ongoing investigation that we're narrowing down. There's Dougie cleaning up.
Shopping cart, that was at Food Line. That's by McDonald's. Second Baptist Church. This is Bundy.
This was not part of the cleanup, but I wanted to bring your attention to this. Dougie and Charles yesterday investigated this. They found out who dumped all this stuff. They have worked out a deal where the person is going to clean it up. And I'm looking for suggestions because we have put out on our website, we've put it out on Facebook about our convenience centers. It is free to all Marlboro County residents. This gentleman who dumped this yesterday or the day before, he didn't know that we had that service in 3 locations throughout the county. So if anyone has suggestions on how to get this information out about the free service we provide to bring this stuff to, he just dumped this stuff at a clothes drop where it clearly states on that box, clothes must be placed in a bag and put inside that receptacle. And he just dumped his whole household trash, old furniture and whatnot. But so there's that. And this one here, Dougie and Charles also worked. This is 5 tons of roofing shingles. This is an ongoing investigation, but it has been cleaned up. And a quick synopsis, this was a contractor from North Carolina that was paying his employees, paying them in cash to go bring this to someplace in Richmond County. They were taking the money, putting it in their pockets, and then dumping the shingles in our county. Through investigations, we found out who it was, and we're working it, but it has been cleaned up. So I'd like to thank my team. They're out there in the streets on a daily basis. So, and that's all I have for you all on that. And thank you,
Thank you.
Madam Vice Chair. Thank you, Mr. Administrator, for all your support during that.
I just suggest that we enforce these litter laws.
Yes, ma'am.
We need to enforce the litter laws. And I understand that deer cameras are being placed in the county.
Yes.
So once those cameras are placed, what is the process then? If the person is caught littering, what will happen?
Depending on the amounts, what it is, and will determine which state statute and/or which county ordinance will be applied to it.
Okay.
There's different things that we can apply. And I've also worked with the clerk of court and Judge Weaver from the magistrate's office.
Right.
We're looking at, instead of fines and jail time, putting them to community service and saying, instead of going to jail or instead of a fine, or in some cases both, you're going to go and clean up for 20 hours. Here are the bags, here's the release, and make a statement like, if you litter, here are the consequences. So those are some of the things that I'm working on with the
Okay.
judges and the magistrate's office, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes,
I do have one more thing I want to mention. I want to call up Mr. Chris Polson and congratulate the EMS for their award that they received for 2025 Small Systems of the Year Award. And they were featured in the state paper, and I just want to thank him for a job well done since he's been there. And so this is the plaque that they received. It's not gonna fall. I got you. And just look, they've done a great job. They've had a lot on their plate, but they've done a lot, and just want to thank him. And if you want to say something real quick.
Not a lot to say here. Everyone in here knows Marlboro County EMS is still fairly young in the scheme of county agencies amongst the state. We'll be hitting our 7th year. I think it's our 7th year this year. I've been here since day one. This is not my award. This is my team. This is my crews. This is the people beating the streets in the middle of the night. One of the things I think is important about this award, even though it's coming from the South Carolina EMS Association in South Carolina, is those folks don't select the people who win this. It goes across to other states across the country, and their EMS associations select who's going to win this. So we're pretty thankful for it. We're really proud of it. Again, the state newspaper did a very good coverage of us, and Prisma Health, who won Large System of the Year for 2025. One of the things I put on a Facebook post that I was boasting about my people are every day we work harder to increase the standard of rural health care across the state. You know, people are using us now as an example. And if anybody has had the pleasure of reading my Facebook post, this is Marlboro County EMS, and we're just getting started. So.
Here's the stand. So I do have a few announcements and a couple
Can I
things
say,
to go over.
I mean, real quick?
Sure.
Chris, thank y'all for everything that y'all do. I mean, it was a long process. Years ago, we had some, a lot of hard nights and hard decisions, and I mean, people were mad at us, people were angry with us, but look where we're at today. I mean, the best in the state, and I just want to commend you and your staff and your crew for everything you're doing. I mean, I hear great things, like I said, and you know, to be able to do what they can do on scene now compared to what they could when we started is leaps and bounds. So just thank you for everything you do.
Chris, if you wait around right after we adjourn to get a picture with our administrator.
There are a few things I do want to go over. First of all, we do have a job fair this Wednesday. Wednesday, May 6th, 2026. It'll be at the Bennetville Community Center from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We do have a job fair. We have quite a few industry that have been invited out there, and we're going to have a good showing, and just trying to do everything we can to make sure that the citizens of Marlboro County that want jobs can get them. There are jobs out there available. You know, we have quite a few industry that say, hey, look, we have jobs, we have openings, and so it's up to us to make sure that we do put job fairs on and make sure we encourage people to come out. And we've been reaching out quite a bit to everyone to make sure that is well attended. It was well attended last year. We're going to make sure we get it the same kind of attendance this year. Employee training. So we did have our employee training last week, and in that training we went over all the changes of the policy, employee policy. And I know I've been asked about that a couple of times, but I wanted to make sure to let you know that we did do that. We invited all the supervisors, all the staff, and we had really good attendance, and we went over it very well. And they talked about all the different changes and just some general different things that we have in that policy. And they were very engaged, and I do want to thank Ms. Sumter again. She did conduct it and kept everyone very engaged, and they were very thankful for the information that they got. So just want to make sure that we did do the employee training for that. I already mentioned the Planning and Zoning Board, where we go over the ordinance. Again, that is May 7th, 2026. That's at 11 a.m. right here. And with all of our commissions and boards, those meetings are public, and we do invite everyone to come out if they can. We do have to make them public. So the last thing I want to talk about is the PD Regional Spring Carnival that we're going to be having from April 17th to April 26th, right in the Marlboro County Fairgrounds. Now, it won't be in the back part, it'll be in the front portion. We have some issues with the leveling of the ground, but we're going to have that in the front portion. It's free for Marlboro County citizens. You know, you have to pay for the rides, but it's free to get in, and close at 10 p.m. every night. So get there early, come and enjoy it, and you know, it's going to be out there at the Agricultural Center and Fairgrounds. And we're hoping that we get good attendance because the same company wants to come and do a much bigger one, the whole entire fall fair in October or November, if that is appropriate. But I'm happy to entertain any questions from council members.
Is there any cost to the council for this?
Excuse me?
Is there any cost? Is there
Right,
any
okay,
cost from-
so we don't incur any cost from this fair. We don't incur any expenses. They're gonna pay for everything. They've also worked out with the sheriff to pay his deputies for security. Everything's been worked out with that, and they are paying us $1,000, you know, for the usage of it. And the reason the price was that low is because we said, if you make it free for everyone, then we'll let you get it at a discount, and they agreed to that. So that's how that's gonna go.
Second question.
Yes, sir.
I know you sent an email out about the pool. I think
Yes,
people out
yes.
more about the pool. Here's my reservations is, you know, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I can't be there.
Right.
So, you know, and it was asked, I think with the board, with the body, to be able to meet and talk and find out, you know, where we at, are we within budget, we're gonna be over budget, or what is it gonna look like? What's the occupancy rate of the pool? I mean, I've been by, there's a lot of stuff going on, so, once again, as I said before, there's, you know.
We can get another meeting with them.
But
We can do it in 2 weeks.
the thing was, we should have had that meeting before today. We should have had that meeting before today. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I mean, if everybody's working, I don't know how many council members can meet with them, and that was the whole specific reason, was to be able to meet with them, find out where we're at within budget. Are we gonna have overruns? You know, what is it? And so, tomorrow at 10 o'clock does not work for me. So, I mean, I know it was asked, I was looking forward to the meeting, to a sit-down meeting from them face-to-face at the table so we could ask these questions. You know, do we have numbers of what it's gonna cost? Do we have a final number? Is there overruns? You know, that's questions that I need answered, pretty quickly.
Okay.
Mr. Clyburn, I do have concerns about that because tomorrow, I guess they're gonna be just showing us the depths of what's gonna entail at that site, right?
So, as I've told them, that they need to be prepared to answer questions about budget. They need to be prepared to answer questions about timelines and about everything that they're doing, like requirements and that kind of thing. So they'll be prepared to answer all those kind of questions.
But they will not be able to answer the question about the operational costs and how is that gonna affect our budget.
Right, so, and they're not, but what they have done, and they just recently provided a list of different firms that can give us some of those different issues as far as pool maintenance, as far as lifeguards and that kind of thing, and staffing. That'll help us get a plan there together for that, and that should happen very quickly. I mean, they've done that for a while, and these firms will be able to get us some information very quickly on that. Certainly before time for budget.
Any other discussions?
We still haven't had an update on credit card finding.
So, now that is an employee issue that I'll be happy to talk to council in executive session. But I can say that we have had you know, one credit card that's been turned in, and we're still looking at getting some other findings from some different users as well. And so I don't want to get too far into anything personal, but yeah, we can get into that.
I think we need to have an executive session. I've asked for this stuff, and we've asked for this stuff for months and months and months.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't take this long to do this. It should not take this long to do this. No other council might not be worried about, but I mean, I've asked, I'm not gonna ask anymore. I'll take the next step if I don't have any answers.
I'm concerned about it. I put it on the table too, sir. I just think since 6 months has passed, we do need to have an executive session
Sure.
about this.
We can have an executive session. We can actually do it at the next call meeting. We can have an executive session about it, but we will have, we'll have some more results for you. But again, I can't go over those right now right here, so.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clyburn. Councilman Woods.
Yes, sir. It is 9 p.m. I'm happy.
We're on overtime.
I'm ready to go home.
We're on overtime.
We'll go bit time. OT time, fellas. But, Mr. Chairman, I don't think I have anything to say. Hope everybody had a good Easter, and we're gonna be looking forward to, next few months. I know it's gonna be the grind. I think one of the things that, I think Wes said last year, we just take the whole ham and, put it on the table, and we start trimming and trimming and trimming. We start doing the budget. So, we keep everything in mind that, there's a lot of things that we need to do. And, we got to take our needs and wants and put them in the right category. There's a lot of things that we gotta have. And it's some of the things that we want, but, we all know that at the end of the day that we're gonna do the best for Marlboro County citizens. And I'm short.
Thank you, Councilwoman Lawson.
Yes, Mr. Chair, before I go into my council comments, but I would like to reiterate what I said with the data, with the solar farms. I would like to request that this board consider putting a moratorium in place on any ordinance pertaining to solar farms and data centers until we meet with our planning and zoning board and committee members to develop a more specific guidelines to establish a more comprehensive framework that will properly assess our residential, industrial, agricultural, and commercial properties. I know that that may be a big ask, but I would like for us to have our attorneys look at something, to draw up something for us, and maybe that could be put on our agenda for next month's meeting. I'm serious about our zoning laws. No other county has general specification in their laws like Marlboro County. And if we all agree, if we can put something in place strong, we need to be working on that now. All counties you hear are meeting about things like that, and we're not, and I really think that's important. Not to take away from anybody, but we need to start putting some actions, just what we say we're going to do. The other thing, I want to thank you, Ms. Sumter, for taking the initiative of recognizing County Council Month, and to the families and friends and everybody who participated in the cleanup, the youth who were involved. We appreciate that, because having youth involved, there are incentives for youth, and there's scholarship available for youth who do cleanup in our communities. And I do want to thank all the citizens who took the time to stay here late for us to do the business of the council. That's a big ask, but we appreciate it. I hope that we can get some of these things done in special meetings so it won't take so long, but still and yet, the process that our administrator has put in place, but especially our chairman has put in place, we need to make sure that we are engaging our citizens more. But thank you so much for just being here and supporting us. And when we have things that you need to address, please attend these public meetings, because there are going to be some public hearings. I would love to see more people participate in public hearings. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Jackson. Blackman.
I just want to congratulate the EMS for what they've done and accomplished. Us not having a hospital, that's a good thing. We got the right ambulance service, so I'm tickled to hear that. That's a plus for us. I just want us to continue to take care of Marlboro County and try to, make some good decisions, and let's get things going. We got a lot of projects that it's time to see some stuff and see some results. So I just want us all to get together and get some stuff done. That's all.
Yes, again, congratulate the EMS. I had a good, long conversation with Ron Mullen a couple nights ago, and we talked at length about it. You know, he was instrumental in making this move that all of us had to support, and it was something that, I think Ron, none of the council, we really wanted to go into, but it was to the point that we had to, and it's turned out to be a very good thing for the citizens of Marlboro County. On May the 2nd, that's 2 weeks from Saturday, McCall, our town, will have their once-a-year Mayfest from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And a band that's been there many times before, Blackwater Band, I think they're out of Wilmington, North Carolina. They'll play on Main Street from 7 to 10. A lot of vendors. As many of you know, I think they had an open house and a invitation for everybody to talk to the 3 candidates for Marlboro County Superintendent this past Monday. Next Monday, they'll be having a meeting, and they'll be selecting one of the 3 finalists, and very important, and we need to support the Marlboro County School Board in making this transition to a new superintendent, and hopefully, you know, the school board collectively as a group, they get a good person that's going to step in and do a great job for the students, teachers, and parents in Marlboro County.
Thank you to all of our citizens who thought it not robbery to come or watch on Facebook. This is important stuff that we're talking about. We appreciate your concerns. We appreciate everybody who came and spoke their concerns about the different projects. We need to hear from you. We need to hear your voice. We do this not for us. We do this for collective. Some of the decision that we make may not be the decision that you make, but best believe, I don't know about anybody else, but I do my due diligence, you know, when I'm making decisions. And so we thank you all for lending your voice to this process. Let us continue to pray not only for our county, not only for our state, but let's continue to pray for our nation, and more specifically, pray for our troops. Many don't know I work directly with our military personnel, and they need our prayers and they need our concerns. And so let us continue to make Marlboro County great again with the effort that we do as council, and ensuring that we are good stewards not only of our concerns, but the concerns of those across our county. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second. Move the proper second. All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. Woo.